Gentlemen, over. Good morning.
I think it's very unfortunate that the far right seem to be getting all the press when it comes to criticism of Islam. I think there's a lot that needs to be criticised in a free democracy about Islam generally, but of course Islamists in particular. And the main problems that I see are that embedded in Islamic theology and culture is the idea of jihad. And it's been going on for, for 1,500 years.
With something we've debated on many occasions.
Yeah, and quite
Our
rightly.
question this morning, are we too complacent
I think
about
we're too complacent.
the far right?
I think we're too complacent about the far right of Islamism. That is where I think we're complacent.
Okay, gentleman over there. Hello. Yeah.
I think politicians spark the fires. So Jack Straw, many of the politicians, mainstream politicians, they discuss issues like grooming, extremism and these buzzwords. And you find that organisations like English Defence League just rally upon those political ideas. There are definitely issues, but the fact is the way they're discussed by mainstream politicians, so the discussion about are we too complacent in tolerating English Defence League, the fact is the public space has already been given to these organisations, and the rhetoric spurred by politicians gives these movements fire and gives them credibility for their arguments.
Mo, I just wonder what you think about this, and I'll come to you guys in a minute, and John Mann as well, the MP. Is it good to have Mr Robinson on this morning so that we can examine and analyse and assess what he's saying? Do you support that? Because you wanted to ban them at one stage, didn't you?
Tommy, if you and your family ever want to come to meet my family for dinner, you are more than welcome.
And you're more...
let me just finish.
Is it right that they appear on the media and stuff like that?
Right now, while we're sat here, most of us can hear outside the protests going on. I think it's important.
Protests who attacked another lady. They attacked a lady. Another lady. But she got spat on by these.
It was 8 people.
Hold on.
It's 8 people.
Winston Churchill said the future fascists
Winston Churchill was a famous Islamophobe, actually. Okay. Now, actually,
Winston Churchill was what? That's famous. We'll sort it out next week's debate. Thank you very much indeed for that.
I think it's important. I think that's important that you're here. I think it's important we have a debate. I think it's important we have a discourse and challenge these things on the intellectual battlefield. What I do have a problem with is if the government decides that organisations who are not conducive to the public good, whether it albeit Al-Muhajirun or Muslims Against Crusades, if the government decides to ban them, and actually I've got a bit of paper here which is a copy of a letter I wrote to the Home Secretary where I wrote her, and James Brokenshire wrote back to me, and he said that they decided that they were not going to prescribe the English Defence League. Okay,
no, despite the fact,
just
1 in 5 members of
Anders
Breivik are in jail for terrorism.
Anders Breivik made it very clear that he has influence and has links with, clear links with the English Defence League.
Okay, I've got to answer that. On page 1438 of Anders Breivik's manifesto, he said the English Defence League is in fact anti-racist, anti-Nazi, and they are naive.
And on 1242, and on page 1242, he says he has come and met with and influenced and shared ideologies.
Don't you think the security services would have known? The problem I have is if 38 Muslim girls have been raped in the last few weeks,
it's got nothing to do with
the country would be on fire. The country would be on fire.
The
country would be on fire.
Wait a minute.
The country would be on fire. These are our daughters.
I'd like to ask you a question.
Everybody's daughters. Shaista.
Our daughters are not being raped.
Tommy,
excuse me.
you're making more noise than the lot outside.
Okay, I'm from Oxford. I'm from Oxford, and I'm from Oxford. There's an active case going on at the moment. Thames Valley Police are investigating grooming of young women. Okay,
young women,
a similar
11-year-old children.
Can I just speak, please? Can I speak, please? Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, in Rochdale, there's been a similar case. Now, some supporters of the EDL showed up at Liverpool Crown Court, where the case is currently, it's basically gone to court. Now, that trial had to be temporarily halted. My question to you is, does the EDL show up at cases, at court cases, where white men have been grooming women?
No.
Because, frankly, but do you show up? Do you show up at those cases?
Let's take it over here to Charlie. Charlie, what do you want to say? And then John Mann in a minute.
Can I just say, I am totally anti-fascist, 100%. And I actually got arrested last year for throwing eggs at this lot. So I'm not against you guys, okay, as an organisation for advocating love for everyone. That's what I'm about. But there's an elephant in the room here, because unfortunately even the Asian community, and this isn't an Islamic issue, let's separate it.
No, but it is an Islamic issue.
But no, it isn't. It's a cultural issue that unfortunately in these situations, Pakistani young male or British-born Pakistani males are overrepresented in the grooming and exploitation of young girls. And I'm sorry, but unfortunately that has actually been shown statistically. But I know the Asian communities are working with those men to sort those issues out.
John Mann, MP. John Mann, MP. In a minute, John Mann.
And we shouldn't shy away from issues any more than we should shy away from problems with the Catholic Church and Catholic priests. So there are many problems. I mean, the EDL is a tiny little organisation, and I think they'd be far better off if it's Mr. Robinson, is it? If instead of sorting aggressive marches in areas that leads to confrontation, if you accepted the dinner invite, I think that would be a far better way of putting it.
Listen. They've got this extraordinary celebrity edition of Come Dine With Me coming up.
Luton's this is the problem. Luton's Labour-run council.
Were you serious about the offer?
I've met with 3 imams. I've got another meeting next week with an imam. Luton's Labour-run council, who want to sort all these problems out, when we contacted and asked them to facilitate a meeting between myself and Luton's Islamic leaders, they said no.
Well, he said yes. Abba, what do you want to say?
Well, I'm concerned we're actually engaging with the merits of the EDL's debate rather than the actual issue, which is, are we allowed to express ourselves? This is what it comes down to.
Well, he is expressing himself.
Well, in terms of what's happening at the moment, and I'm certainly a perception that I'm getting, as a result of 30, 40 years of multicultural thinking, it's now prohibited to even challenge certain basic things. And I don't agree with the way the debate's going. I mean the general debate, not the debate here.
Clear what is lawful and what is unlawful. Under the Prevention of Terrorism Act, under Section 1(1), if you incite hatred, or you give harassing, or you incite terror into a proportion of the population, under Section 127 of the Communications Act, under the Public Order Act, the law makes it very, very clear and distinct what is lawful and what is unlawful. And all we're talking about is what is unlawful.
Are you not suggesting, by saying that we're being complacent, that the EDL is an organisation that should be banned? Is that not what you're suggesting? So what do you think is complacency?
You did have a Facebook petition, and of course, if they were banned or any organisation banned, so there was an e-petition.
Right.
That causes its own problems.
After Breivik killed virtually 100 people in Utoya, absolute monster, who loved the EDL.
No, he was a big fan of the EDL. Fools.
Let's get away from that point. We're not going to get anywhere on that. Carry on.
My point was, he shared an ideology, and I thought if the government has decided that they will ban organisations who share an ideology with extremist organisations and extremist groups, the EDL have planted both feet over that line.
Is it right? Okay, is it right? This is the thing. Some people would be able to hear the shouting outside where we are today. Is that, are there some people actually on the left who are doing this, who are entirely counterproductive? The far left?
There are militant anti-fascists who contribute...
Hold on.
Wait. I'm not a member of any Facebook group.
On your Facebook profile, you say your political views are left, far left, further left.
What? No, I don't. I say I'm a progressive.
No,
okay,
anyway, the point is, there are militant anti-fascists that in some towns and cities contribute to some of the problems, and that is an elephant in the room that is often not discussed. Should the English Defence League be banned at present? No. I think the grievances that it's campaigning on and its supporters should be heard. But at some point, the organisation has to start taking some responsibility just for some misreporting, as do sections of the British tabloid media. To give you an example,
yeah, go on.
This month, tabloid media reported that 2/3 of young British men endorse honour killings. The actual figure was 6%.
They had to apologise, didn't they?
Yeah, but yet the tabloid media will jump on this and say, well, look at this, Muslims are incompatible with British society. Actually, if we look beyond that and look at the actual data, it's completely a different story.
This European-wide movement, this counter-jihadism, as it is called, where's the money coming from? Where's the funding coming from?
We've got no money, we've got no funding.
Across Europe?
Across Europe. I mean, if you look at, say, states like the Netherlands, Geert Wilders is privately backed, but mainly by funders in the United States.
United States, who are they?
Others are political parties. Well, I mean, individuals that are linked to fundamentalist, radical ideologies, but others are political parties that are democratically registered. If the English Defence League goes into elections, then obviously we'll have to comply with electoral law.
Yes, sir, you've had a hand up for ages. Let's get a microphone down. Are you going to dinner as well?
Sorry, no, I would sincerely like to discuss two areas with you. Jihad, I've got face jihad, there's a struggle, and that is you. I want to sit down with you and let you know how much I contribute to Britishness and being Muslim in my society. Let me finish. And contribute to my society as a Muslim, because my religion asks me to do that and teaches me to do that. So please, take up my offer, let's sit down, have a coffee and have a chat.
Whenever you want, mate, whenever you want.
There, on this debate, we'll leave it. Thank you all very much indeed for partaking in that debate. If you'd like to have your say about it, log on bbc.co.uk/thebigquestions. You'll find links to continue the conversation online. We're also debating live this morning from Manchester, should it be illegal to pay for sex with a young adult? And if you'd like to be in the audience at a future show, you can email audience@menton.tv. We're back after